Okay, so welcome. We're gonna do our first episode tonight. We don't have a name yet for the show, but we're working on it. So we're gonna be taking suggestions. Today we're gonna be making a Poblano roasted corn chowder. This is Mary Renshaw. Nice friend. I just didn't know if you wanted your last name in it, but too late. It's Renshaw. She's a sweet gal, friend of mine. Also a client. We'll get into that in a different episode about being a first-time home buyer, and Mary can share her success story. But for right now, we're just gonna make some soup. The Poblanos here because we're gonna be roasting them. Okay, just gonna do this. The elevated baking sheet. You see, it's got this rack here, and that allows air to flow under it. Better for roasting, things like that. So just kind of give them space between each. So we're gonna be broiling. So most ovens have a broil setting. Probably about 500 would be good. And we're gonna turn that on. So broilers are up here at the top, and they're gonna get red. So I move this rack down a little bit so they're not directly on top of it. Okay? All right. Cut. So these should already be getting red. It's working. Okay. So because broil is heat that is so close to whatever you're doing it with, you really need to move them a lot or they will burn. But right now we're just charring the edges of them to make them roasted. They're starting to blister. I'll take one out and show you.
We love a blister.
See that? It's just starting. So you want that, but and a little bit of char is okay. You just don't want the whole thing to.
I understand.
So they're fresh out of the broiler. And they're charred on all sides. I had to think about what I was going to say. They're charred on all sides, you see? Okay, so now we're going to take tin foil and cover them up because that's a little trick to getting them to peel easily. We're not going to eat the charred part of it. Okay? So just like that. Burn your hands. We're just searing some bacon over here because that's going to be one of our toppings. We'll do a different episode just on searing bacon, but for now, just know that that's what we're doing, okay? Thank you.
Not me.
Okay, so we're roasting the corn. So I drained all the bacon grease out of the pan, but we're gonna leave what was left in there to roast the corn. Roasted. See, it's changing colors. We've got the skin off of them. The seeds are okay. Not worried about that. But all that charred skin is off. So now we're gonna cut them up. So you got them all cut up. So basically 5 to 6 poblano peppers depending on size. These were really big, so there's only 5 of them. It's gonna be a good ratio for the soup. Okay, so a lot of people actually cut these off, and actually grocery stores do it a lot too, but they have amazing flavor for soups. They have sort of, some people say like a black pepper flavor, I don't know. I think they're great. Also adds a little bit of fun to your soup, the leaves. So I'm gonna cut those with it.
Les rêves des amoureux sont comme les bonbons, ils donnent des larmes.
Well, how about that? Innocent, victimless pranks. So they want to get to know me. Spend a little quality time with the Grinch.
Take them.
So we need just a little bit of olive oil in the soup pot so we don't burn the vegetables, because we're going to start putting the carrots and celery and onions right into the pot so they can start softening. Thank you. So 2.5 teaspoons of salt, 1 teaspoon of coriander, 1 teaspoon of cumin, half a teaspoon of oregano,
1/4 teaspoon of pepper.
and 1/4 teaspoon of pepper. So you see we have them all on here already. Thank you. So we're gonna add our spices in here, in the pan, the pot, sorry, and our chicken broth now. So you can make yours from scratch. You can buy it at the store. And if you like, there you go. So this is 48 ounces. So I'm just gonna cook some chicken so I can cut it up and put it in there. It's not really in the recipe, but chicken and corn chowder goes really well. If you like a little extra protein in chicken.
Les rêves des amoureux sont comme les vents vains. Ils donnent des...
Just adding a little bit of this chicken bouillon because it needs a little bit more like depth of flavor, and I don't like adding salt to everything just to make it, you know. So this is good. It's not really in the recipe, so you kind of have to add it to taste if you like it. I mean, it's personal preference. I think it needs a little bit more, but when you get to this point, if you don't think it does, then don't. Use our immersion blender here. We're going to take the bay leaves out because we do not want to blend those in because they're not good to eat by themselves. So finding them can be fun. That's why you want to make sure you use whole bay leaves because there's one. Because they can be very difficult to pull out later. So we know that's one. So now we don't want to blend the whole thing because we're not trying to turn the whole thing into like mush. We want it to just blend the flavors together. So we'll just give it a few. Okay. Roasted corn from before and our Poblanos. Add them all in. And the corn. We're going to turn our heat down a little bit to more of a simmer than boiling. Okay. Now I've got those in. Gonna give it a stir. You can kind of see everything is getting very well blended together, but there's still full size of the vegetables that we did. It's not all tiny. And then we're gonna slowly add the heavy cream. And you want to do this slowly and stir it so you're kind of tempering it together. If you do too much at once, it'll curdle, and that's pretty fucking gross. So. All right, and just kind of keep it moving like this. Do you see in here? So I'm not just dumping the whole thing in there because that would be a huge mess, and it could potentially curdle, which would not be good. We're also going to do about a half cup of any cheese blend. This is Mexican cheese blend. Could be just cheddar if you prefer. Kind of the same thing. You don't want to just dump it all in at once. It's a little bit at a time. There's the finished product. What do you think? So what I like to do is top it with fun toppings. You don't have to. It's obviously your choice. But I cooked some bacon. There's some chopped green onions and cheese. And that's it. Thanks for watching.